Make sure to catch that murderer soon. I don't know how much of this madness I can take.
Ruben, Carla, I found Q, and he's already up to date with what happened.
That's great. Then let's not waste time and go to Ruben's suite.
After you.
It took a bit longer to find him than I thought, but we're here now.
Let's continue the questioning in my room.
I'm very sorry to hear about Portia. She wasn't the kindest, but no one deserves to go like that. So please, ask me anything and I'll answer.
Where were you this evening?
I was back in the greenhouse, doing chores.
Did you see anyone while you were there?
No, it was only me.
Are you sure? The Admiral told me he was there roaming around. He said he spoke to you too.
No, señorita, I didn't see him.
Okay. Well, can you all stay here? I need to ask the Admiral something.
Go, we'll be here.
If you have a lead, you should follow it.
Ask me anything. I'll help any way I can.
We'll wait for you here.
Admiral, would you mind stepping into the corridor with me for a minute?
Of course, Miss Page. After you, Miss Page.
Q said he didn't see you around the greenhouse this evening.
What? The boy is obviously lying. I was there. I even talked to him. He complained that he broke a wrench while fixing the pipe, too.
This is confusing. Don't know who to believe. Do you know where the broken wrench is?
I think it was somewhere on the table in the greenhouse.
I'll go and find the wrench, and we will figure out who the liar is. In the meantime, could you join them in Ruben's room?
Gladly. The gardener is spouting lies. You'll see soon enough.
If the Admiral was telling the truth, the broken wrench will be somewhere here. I need to break the pot. Well, the Admiral was right about the wrench. I wonder what Q will have to say about it. Sorry for the holdup. Had to check something before I returned. Q, can you have a look at this wrench and tell me what happened to it?
Si, señorita, I have nothing to hide.
Everyone's waiting, Carla.
Interesting. I wonder what you're up to.
Don't drag this out any longer than it needs to be, Miss Page.
Please pass me the wrench. I used this wrench while fixing the pipe and broke it.
Aha! Caught you now, you lying bastard!
Q, mind explaining? The Admiral knew about the wrench breaking because you told him. He was actually there, wasn't he?
Si, señorita. I lied. He was walking around in the backyard for a while.
Why on earth would you lie in a situation like this, Q?
That man took my honor, blamed me for the bad things I didn't do. Back where I'm from, that's unforgivable. I have no respect for men like him.
So you thought you could have regained your honor by lying about him? Doesn't sound very honorable, Q, does it?
No, señorita. It doesn't. I must apologize. I didn't mean to lie to you.
When was the last time you saw each other?
After my stroll in the backyard and a small chat with Q, I returned to my suite. It was just before you came to my room asking about the bullet casing you found at the crime scene.
After the Admiral left, I headed toward the jungle to check on some plants. When I came back, I found Senora Bennett looking for me around the greenhouse. After that, we came here straight away.
For what it's worth, I don't believe that Sam or Q killed Portia.
But someone still had to take Lucas's handgun.
Let's question the last person before we make any conclusions.
Agreed. Sam, Q, you both can go now.
1 second. I'd like to take a photo of them for documentation purposes, if they don't mind.
Of course, señorita.
My conscience is clear. Do what you need to do.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later, Admiral.
Let's head back to the study.
I do feel terrible. I'm sorry for lying.
I think we're done here.
Let's not stand around here. There's still another person left to question, right?
Mrs. B, can you come with me?
Of course, dear. I'm right behind you. Let's go, darling.
Let's continue the questioning in my room.
Carla, you've got this.
Georgiana, how are you holding up?
Oh dear. I don't know how much I can take. It's no secret that I didn't like Portia. But now that she's gone, it's not right, I'd say. I guess the first thing you want to know is where I was at the time of the incident, right? I was spending the evening with Margot in the club room.
What did you and Margot speak about?
Oh, the good old days. I was surprised to find out that Margot is almost 50 years old. She doesn't look a day older than 35.
Did either of you leave the room?
I think Margot went out to change. She spilled a drink on herself. But I don't think she was gone for that long. Didn't feel like it anyway.
One more thing. Who do you think could have killed Portia?
Oh dear. I know that Janet had something against Portia. And I'm not talking about her feelings for you, Reuben.
What? How do you know about that?
Dear, I don't know much about your work, but your personal life is another case.
Why would Janet have a grudge against Portia?
Well, I know that Portia has some dirt on Janet. Don't know what it is, but at last year's party, I heard them arguing about it.
Why didn't you ever tell me about it?
I don't think that would have changed anything, Reuben.
Mrs. Bird, before you go, do you mind if I take a picture of you?
Oh, not at all, Carla. Anything to help the investigation.
Thanks, Mrs. B. We won't keep you any longer.
Kat, Carla, please join me in the study. I'd like to discuss the current situation with you.
Sure. Let's talk more in the study.
I hope I was of any help.
Let's head back to the study. I'd like to go over the details of what we've learned so far.
It seems that Q and Sam spent most of the evening together in the backyard. So, either they're both implicated, or neither of them had anything to do with Portia's death.
I'd say the latter is more likely. I can't see a reason for either of them to kill Portia.
Well, speaking of motives, you have the love triangle between Reuben, Portia, and Janet, who apparently pulled Jax into it. But it's not really clear to me why one of them would kill Portia.
From what I've seen, Jax gets fits of rage. He doesn't control them very well either.
But what grounds could he possibly have had for killing her?
It's quite obvious that Jax hated Portia, and people like him can sometimes do irrational things during an outburst.
I agree. I've read that people can get rage blackouts and not remember what they've done.
What about Margot and Miss Bird?
The cameras picked Margot up near the murder scene right before the murder.
Yes, but we confirmed she wasn't lying. She did spill a drink on her top.
That's right. Margot went to change her clothes, but we don't know what she did after that.
Perhaps. But that applies to all the suspects, to one degree or another.
I think we're still missing the evidence we need to determine the killer.
The key to it is probably the USB drive we found in Portia's laptop. I believe that whoever killed Portia was trying to obtain information on Reuben's project.
Unfortunately, it will take time before we can access any data on that USB drive. For now, all we can do is try to narrow down the list of suspects.
Sounds great, but how?
I think that's a question for tomorrow. We should all get some rest now.
Couldn't agree with you more, Reuben. If you'll excuse me, I'll be off back to my suite.
Good night, Dr. Cat.
Good night, Carla.
Carla, could you keep me company for a bit longer? I'd like to say my last goodbyes to Portia.
Of course. I'm here for you.
I'd appreciate it if you'd join me in Portia's suite. It's so hard to see her like this. She did not deserve it.
No one does, Reuben. Maybe we should cover her up before you say your last goodbyes.
If you could, Carla. There should be some clean sheets somewhere in this room.
She deserved a better end than this.
Thank you, Carla. Portia was a good woman, fierce and loyal, and her loyalty got her killed. It's all my fault.
Don't beat yourself up, Reuben. It's not your fault. No one could have seen this coming.
I should have, but there's nothing I can do about it now. It's been a long night. You should go get some rest. I'll stay here a bit longer. I'll lock up afterward. I don't want anyone to disturb her. Good night, Carla.
Night, Reuben.
Get some rest, Carla.
Someone's knocking on the door. There's no one here. But wait. What's that on the door? Is that an envelope? I need to remove the tape first. I'd better be reading it inside, away from the rain. Much better. I can open the envelope at the table. Shoot! I need to put them back in place. Oh no! Someone has been poisoned again! I need to let Ruben know. Ruben! Someone has been poisoned! We need to act quickly.
What? Who has been poisoned?
I don't know. I found the letter taped to my door. It says that 2 people have been poisoned and an antidote is hidden in the sand.
Show me the letter. Show me the letter. If it's true, my best bet would be that the antidote is hidden somewhere on the beach. But have you considered the possibility that someone might be trying to distract you from the investigation?
I really don't think it's worth risking people's lives over that.
No, of course not. I just think we need to consider all possible scenarios before we jump into this.
What other scenarios are there to consider, Ruben?
This could be a trap for all we know.
It might be, but we can't just sit here and risk people dying. We need to head to the beach and find the antidote right now.
Okay, let's not waste any time in that case. Lead the way. I'll be right behind you. What exactly are you looking for?
We should keep our eyes peeled for a glass vial, probably with some sort of liquid inside.
A glass vial. Got it.
Reuben, I found it. There's another note tied around it.
What does it say?
The first half of the antidote is here. The other half is in the ruins. There will only be enough antidote for one. They don't have much time. Jax and Margot have been poisoned.
Carla, the note said there's only enough antidote for one. It won't save them both. Should we tell them?
We could, but it would cause a panic, and we don't want that right now.
Yes, but we'll have to do it at some point.
We will, once we find the second vial.
Let's think about this rationally. We don't even know what's in these vials.
It must be the antidote.
How could you be so sure? It could be poison for all we know. To be on the safe side, I'll grab the analyzer and come find you after.
Great. I'll try to find the second vial in the meantime. The second vial should be in the ruins.
Head to the ruins, Carla. I'll get the analyzer in the meantime.